welcome to another edition of the Jeff Nunn Show. We're coming to you live this Monday from 930 Prospect Street in La Jolla, California. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is when agents come to me and they say, Jeff, what do you think about, should I buy leads? And my response is, do you have a database? And they say, well, yes. And then I say, no. And they go, well, why not? And I say, because you already have leads in your database that you're ignoring. So just give me the money that you spend on leads and we'll both be happy. At least I'll be happy because I'll have your money and I haven't really done anything for it, but save you a lot of time and trouble. So what do I mean by that? So there's leads out there that come to you from all different places. All different sources are trying to sell you leads. When in fact, they're just people that might have clicked on a website, have no desire to buy a home, no intention of doing anything soon, but you're paying for them, and then you dump them into your database. Hopefully, most agents don't, but then you dump them into your database and you treat them like everybody else in your database, and that is you ignore them. Sorry, but that's typically what happens. So let's do a little deep dive into an analysis of the potential of, if you actually worked your database, what it could provide for you in terms of money, all right? So let's start with, what if you have an average of 500 leads in your database, 500 people in your database, which most people do. Now, I'm going to suggest to you, you do step one, and that is you search everybody in your database immediately. Stop whatever you're doing, search everybody. Go to Google, go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook, go to Instagram. Look up the property that they're in the MLS, see how long they've been there. Go into the tax records and see if maybe they've owned other properties. Now, you've learned a lot about them, haven't you? And my question is, why haven't you done this before? What are you waiting for? These 500 people, and anybody will tell you this that I've ever spoken with in real estate. I don't care if it's Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Brian Buffini, David Knox, Chris Leader, and now Jeff Nunn, are going to tell you that if you have 500 people in your database, you're going to have about an 8% activity rate, and that's 40 deals out of 500 people. So we're going to get into the math on that in just a second, but just don't overlook the potential of what your database can provide for you. Now, most of you have 500 names in there, but you might not have their email addresses, you might not have their phone numbers. What good is that? How are you going to communicate with them? You've got to do some groundwork here if you're going to be successful in this business. And there's no other way I can say it except that there is work that needs to be done in our business, and most agents are reluctant to do it because it's not sexy, it's not fun, it's laborious, but you know what? That's part of the job of being a successful real estate agent. Now, you have to call everybody, and I mean call everybody. I'm not talking about leaving messages. I'm not talking about, a note card now and then. You have to call everybody, reintroduce yourself, and let them know who you are, what you're doing, and what purpose you hope to serve in their life at some point in time. And why do we do this? Because although they're in your database and you think you might get business from them, they might not know they're in your database. So that's the big disconnect, okay? You with me so far? So number one is you've got to have their accurate contact information. And Coldwell Banker has come out with one of the best programs I've ever seen to help agents build a relationship of value with the clients or the potential clients in somebody's database, and it's called Client for Life. Now, what is Client for Life? Most agents I've dealt with, and I've dealt with thousands over the years, I've got 120 here in my office right now, and their one big hesitation, if you will, in contacting people in their database is, I don't know what to say to them. I don't want to bug them every month. You want to buy, you want to sell, you got somebody you want to invest, you got somebody you want to refer. So they don't make that phone call. And they just use whatever distraction they can, I call it creative avoidance, not to call them, and then they do their feeble contacting of the people in their database over the span of a year, wonder why they don't get any business out of it, when they should be getting 40 deals out of 500 people. They're sitting there doing 3, 4, 5, 6 deals a year, and they wonder why. Well, if you don't do step one, give me your real estate license, please, and thank you. Because I will tell you, you will be frustrated as hell in this business if you don't build relationships with people. And I would, quite frankly, rather see you take that money instead of buying leads. Invest in a course or a class at your local community college or something on how to build relationships of value with people. And why do I say that? Because everybody in your database has what I call, can you see that, Courtney? The lifetime value, the LTV. And what does that mean? Well, just because you contacted them doesn't mean they want to buy, sell, invest, or refer somebody. Today, so we often dismiss them as, well, they're no good. But wait a minute. If you plan on being in real estate as a career in 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, think of the value that person can provide to you, either in a direct listing, direct sale, direct referral, or an investment. That's huge, because we're all going to need business in the future. So I think if we can fight the urge to have this immediate gratification, we're going to be very successful in this business. So your job, well, I'll hold this up a little while because the print's a little small, but your job is to capitalize on everybody in your database by utilizing what I call the LTV, the lifetime value of these people. Because at some point they're going to buy, sell, invest, or refer somebody, and if you've ignored them, good luck, they're not going to remember you. So let me go back to one thing, and that is the Client for Life program. Here's what it is. You don't want to call them because you don't want to bother them about buying, selling, investing, or referring. So Coldwell Banker has come out with literally what I feel would be the best program out there in the real estate industry. It's called Client for Life, right? Remember, it ties into the lifetime value of a person. So every month an email is going to go out to these people. You don't lift a finger other than put your people into the database. We do the work from there, okay? So they're going to get an email from you. Now in January, for example, we had the greatest charity event that we worked with. It's called Souls for Souls. Now imagine making a phone call to the people in your database. It goes like this. Hey John, this is Jeff over at Coldwell Banker, and I'm calling you this month because I'm really excited about this charity we're partnering with. It's called Souls for Souls. And what I'm doing is I'm going around to everybody I know, and I'm picking up if you have any shoes that we could collect from you that you're not using, that we could put on the feet of people that don't have shoes, from children to elderly to whomever. I'm going to go around and pick them up. Do you have anything that I could pick up? Now, believe me, if they want to talk about real estate, provided they even know you're in real estate, they're going to enjoy that phone call. And one of our agents, and I got to give a big shout out to Juan Pablo Samayoa, he picked up over 75 pairs of shoes last week, and he got some leads from it too, just because he's reconnected with people. Now that's just one of it. We do Toys for Tots at Christmas time. We do the doggy adoption event. We invite people to a baseball game. We invite people to movies. We invite them to beach cleanups. I mean, every month there is something going on that you can call the people in your database. And notice I haven't referred to it as a sphere of influence, and I'll get to that in a second. But every month you have something that's really nice, it's not real estate related, to contact the people, to build a relationship with, to make you look good, because you are doing something good for the community and for other people, and you're just not calling them to see if they want to buy, sell, invest, or refer, okay? So at Coldwell Banker, if you're not with Coldwell Banker, give me a call, 858-602-8880. Shameless plug, yes, but look, I'm here to help agents have an exceptional life and build a wonderful business. And the only way I can do that is if I can get you engaged in a program like this, to really, where you are actually utilizing your database and exerting influence over them. And I mentioned that a moment ago. Everybody likes to call what they have a sphere of influence, but explain to me this, how you have 500 or 1,000 people in there, and you're only selling 10 homes a year. How much influence do you really have over them? Be honest with yourself. You've got next to zero influence over those people, because they're not thinking of you when they're thinking of real estate. Because you know as well as I do, out of 500 or 1,000 people, if you sold 6 homes a year, there's a hell of a lot more real estate activity transferred of that number of people. It just wasn't with you. So let's take a look at running real estate, your real estate business, like a business. I want to go into some numbers here, which is going to shock you, I think. And again, I've mentioned this, in 40 years in the business, I've heard it over and over and over again. 8% of your database is going to buy, sell, invest, or refer somebody every single year. Think about that. Let that sink in for a minute. All right, I'm kind of a neat dick, so I kind of fold these things every time I do that. Is that all right, Courtney?
Yeah, that's good.
You okay? You still with me there?
I'm still with you.
All right, you should see Courtney sometime. Fabulous camera woman. Okay, so we have, out of that, a minimum of 40 transactions a year just from your database, of 500 names. All right? Sticky. Coming up. Notice, I haven't called that a sphere of influence because it's not yet. You don't actually have influence over these people. So what you have is, might as well call it pages out of a phone book. Except pages out of the phone book, you're actually going to have their phone numbers. And I'm guessing of the 500 people or 1,000 people you have in your database, there might be some people in there that you don't have their phone number on. So shame on you if you don't. Get it done. Stop everything you're doing and build your database correctly, okay? So if you did do all this stuff right, you would have had 40 sales last year, but you didn't. That's my point. How are you going to build your business when you don't have a relationship with these people? So you can go buy leads from somebody, from Zillow or Trulia or all these other hucksters out there that are trying to sell you crap, quite frankly, because that's all it is. They're just names, and you don't know if they're selling them to other people as well, although they'll swear they don't, but you know they do. So I'd rather see you spend that money by either, give it to me and I'll go have some fun, it'll be fun for me, or invest in learning about how to build relationships with people so you can actually have some serious influence over them. Now, 40 transactions a year, if you're watching somewhere else in the world, this number might be a little shocking to you, but our median sales price here in San Diego is $600,000 for a detached home. Okay? What's that number at the bottom? $24 million worth of business just from your database if you actually have influence over them. Now, you already have leads that you're not nurturing, so why spend more money on leads that you're just going to dump into your database and ignore? Don't do it. So I'm going to take a deep dive into the financial benefits of actually having some influence over your database. And it looks like this. $24 million in sales production. Some of them are going to list, some of them are going to buy, so you'll be getting 3% on some, you'll be getting 2.5% maybe on others, or you might get a referral fee. Who cares? It all goes into the same bucket. Average agent commission splits minus franchise fees, so on and so forth. Folks, you're looking at making over $500,000. That's right, $500,000 from transactions every year if you properly work the lifetime value of the people in your database, okay? Until you actually have influence over them. Now, do I have your attention? Have I made my point? Because look, I'm serious. Everybody says they have a big database of people, but they're not getting the value out of it. It's a falsity. It's a false sense of security. Let go of it. Get to work. Start calling these people. Utilize the Client for Life program so you can actually have a relationship with these people. And you're better off spending the money you were and buying leads. Spend it building and educating yourself on how to build relationships of value with people, how to be likable, how to be attractive to them. Now, I hope today you got something of value from me. I hope I was able to influence you a little bit, because 2020 is going to be a tough year. I don't care what market you're in. There's too many agents fighting over too few sales, too few transactions. I don't want you to be one of those that's left behind. So I hope you found some value in this. Don't buy leads. Invest your time in talking and building relationships with those people that might already know you a little bit, those people in your database, until you actually have influence over them. That's all I have for this week. Jeff Nunn signing off from Coldwell Banker here in La Jolla, and another episode of the Jeff Nunn Show. You guys have a great week. Thank you very much.